After a grand jury in Staten Island refused to indict a police officer who killed Eric Garner in a chokehold, there were two hashtags that were trending on Twitter. One of them was criming while white, and the other alive while black, okay? And the whole point was to show that there is a double standard when it comes to enforcing the law. There are certain things that white individuals get away with in the country and certain things that black people get accused of when they're doing nothing wrong. Now, before I get to the tweets and read the specific instances, I do want to be clear that, of course, there's no way to verify all of these instances, right? But people share their stories nonetheless, and I think that it is a telling story that's important to cover. So, first of all, a man by the name of Jason Ross, who has written for The Daily Show and also The Tonight Show, tweeted the following. Other white people, tweet your stories of underpunished F-ups. It's embarrassing but important. Let's get hashtag criming while white trending. So a bunch of people responded to that. One person writes, in closed park after curfew, underage drinking liquor bought with fake IDs. Cops told us, get on home, let us drive away. Hashtag criming while white. Go ahead, Cenk.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, and when Ross kicked it off, he also said that he had escaped harsh punishment once as well. Or several times, he was cited for alcohol, caught with a gun at school, and just off with a warning, right? And look, I don't think he's saying, and we're certainly not saying, that the cops should go ballistic on every one of these cases. If they show some understanding, that's not a bad thing.
That's
overall,
a good thing.
It's a 17-year-old who's being stupid. Yeah, send them on home. It's the disparity in how people are treated that's the problem.
Yeah, we all suffer from a lapse of judgment time to time, okay? Another person writes, I'm not proud of it, but when I was 22, I pushed a cop when I was drunk at a bar. I was told to go home and sleep it off. That's an unbelievable story to me. I mean, that's crazy.
Now, I don't think that happens usually, no matter what your race is, right? But certainly, if you've got a black guy pushing a cop at a bar, he's not going to be told to, oh, no, it was probably a misunderstanding. Go ahead and sleep it off.
No, especially in this day and age. I mean, look, police brutality does disproportionately impact minorities, but we've seen cases of police brutality involving white people as well.
Oh, of course, of course. I would not recommend that, yes.
At age 24, pulled a gun on a neighbor, arrested and bonded out, but no charges were ever filed. Another person says, pulled over in high school, black friend searched and asked if he has dope. Cop tells me I must be lost and to get home.
Now, look, that's as stark as it gets. White guy and a black guy. He searches the black guy, asks about dope. The white guy says, I just go home. Who cares? No, but there's no difference. There's no difference. Who lives on that planet?
Yeah. Now, there were members of the black community that kind of felt like this focused too much on white people getting away with things and didn't really focus enough on some of the egregious things that black people get accused of, right? So then all of a sudden you see this hashtag trending, alive while black. And these stories are just as outrageous, okay? One person writes, pulled over by a cop for playing Jay-Z while driving with open windows in Lincoln Park, Chicago, detained 45 minutes. It's amazing.
So these are stories where they have not committed a crime,
right,
but they get pulled over anyway. They get searched anyway. They get harassed and detained anyway. 45 minutes for listening to Jay-Z.
Unbelievable. Here's another one. A car wrecked into mine, face bleeding, concussed. The police and medical workers told me to stop crying and faking.
And well, of course, there's the famous story of the guy who was a football player who got in a car accident, went and asked for help, knocked on somebody's door, went back to his car. The cops show up and shoot him.
Yeah.
Killed him.
Oh, yeah. Another person says, crossing the grocery store parking lot, cops stopped to ask me what I was doing there. I was holding grocery bags. I mean, I think that's a perfect example of like the harassment that certain people have to deal with that you don't have to worry about, right? So whenever we have these discussions about white privilege, that's what it's really about. It's about always getting the benefit of the doubt from cops or people in authority. And I don't have to worry about that. I mean,
and it's so understandable that it's not a thing that's top of mind for you. That's why we have the conversation. Mm-hmm. It's not like I've ever walked across the parking lot with grocery bags, put them in my car and thought, win. Whew. Didn't get bothered by the cops. You just never think of that. It's logical and understandable why you never think about that. But now you should think about some people actually do have that experience, right? Mm-hmm. That the most mundane things they do in their life, they get stopped for. Imagine how incredibly frustrated you'd be. And if you were a conservative Republican who's worried about big government, and that government officials kept stopping you at every, what are you doing? Give me your ID. what are you doing with groceries, etc. And they pride in every part of your life. What would you do? I know what they'd do. They'd grab a gun, right? Yeah. Let alone protest and do all the things that African Americans are doing, trying to draw attention to it and getting criticized for it.